go into that last line when I said, everything that I've been doing, I do it for you. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into depth anyways. As a kid, I never had that outlet. This is not just music to me. This is everything. It's do or die. That's all it is for me. So when I started making this music, it wasn't just for myself. Like, sure, it helped me cope with problems, but I want to be that person I needed growing up. You feel me?
It's always been music for me. Even when I was a little kid, when I was like 8 years old, I wanted to be a rock star. It wasn't until I turned 10 that I knew I wanted to rap. And, it just started out as freestyling, screwing around in my room, just, spitting, laying in my bunk bed. And when I turned 12, it really turned into an outlet for me. My mom got diagnosed with cancer. My stepdad was pretty abusive. I actually had 3 stepdads throughout my childhood, and they were all abusive. They were all drinkers. Alcoholism was a big reason behind the abuse in the house, and I think was the reason things were the way they were. But yeah, I'd go up to my room and I'd write in my notepad every time I was feeling sad, and it made me feel better. And once I started putting this music out there and I started showing my friends, I realized that this isn't only helping me. I got friends that are going through the same thing at home. They listen to my music and they're like, wow, like I really relate to that. I like how you put this. It's almost like they were able to express themselves through my music, which is one of the reasons I do positive rap, which is why I don't swear in my music. It's because I want little kids to be able to listen to what I'm talking about and relate to it. Now I want to help them speak for themselves. I want to help them have that voice, because not a lot of people have outlets, and I'm very lucky that I do. When I turned 14 or 15, I did the high school talent show in Norwalk. And, the first round was just, anybody can enter the talent show. It's like everybody just goes up there, they do their thing, and then everybody votes on who should be in the finals. And I made it into the final by 1 vote. I did my first song that I did. It was a hype track. It was very cringy now that I look back on it, but everybody liked it. And then the second one I did, I switched my song for the second performance, and it was a deep one. I talked about, how I felt about school, how I felt about life in general, how I felt about some of the people in this room right now that I'm rapping to. And I won the whole thing by a landslide. Like, I got a majority of all the votes. And that was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. That's when that hit me. I was like, yeah, I can do this for sure. And it's just been gung ho from there. I've been on it. And when I would say I really got my first glimpse of the industry, when I started on that path to being professional and doing this full time, like what got me to where I am now. Of course, all that stuff as a kid led up to it as well. But there was a milestone I reached when I went to this program called STALE, which stood for Starving Artists Let's Eat. And basically it was like a boot camp for artists. I don't know. It's like there was 3 judges. You go in, you do your thing. It's every single Monday, every week. You go on, you do your thing. 3 judges give you critiques on how your performance was, and then you come back next week with whatever they said, and you apply it to your performance. And initially, I actually messed up when I first went. My first time ever going, I messed up on stage. I got mad. I went home and I told myself I wasn't gonna come back. And I don't know, something spoke to me. Just a little voice in my head was like, bro, you gotta go back. And so I went, and I kept going week after week. You're supposed to sell 10 tickets, and then that's how you buy yourself in. So I'd sell 10 tickets every week, and I'd give the money to Bo, the guy who was running it. And then anything I sold after those 10 tickets, I could keep the money, because they wanted to put money in the artist pockets as well. I mean, I was one of the only artists selling tickets like that, consistently at least. But then Bo, who was who ran Stale, he ran Stale. He's the one that started it and all that. He invited me to a meeting he was having with his other organization, his nonprofit called Hip Hope. Um, it was a leadership program for the kids, and he said he wanted me to slide through. Randomly called me out of the blue. Was not expecting it, but I'm glad I went because when I got there, he got me an interview with Urban Experience magazine, and that was my first magazine article. And that kind of started my relationship with Bo James, who is now my manager and my mentor. I started going to his house about once a week, and I was there for anywhere between 8 to 10 hours every time, just talking about the industry. That's when I really became a student to the game. And, eventually I was recording in his studio, and he was listening to my songs, and he was like, "You're kind of anti-bully." And I was like, "What? No, I'm not." And he was like, "Well, listen to your lyrics." And so we played over the song a few times, and he was like, "You were literally addressing bullies, like unintentionally. You were addressing bullies." And I heard it, and I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of am." So then that's where I found my passion for the anti-bullying stuff, and that's how I really got involved with hip hop. I was already in the Music Saves program, but yeah, no, he started taking me to his youth program, to his youth events, and having me speak as his anti-bully rapper. And then I started doing mental health rapping as well. I think kids get more out of hip hop than anything. Hip hop is one of the most influential things. You can talk about anything and make it cool. So when I go on and I talk about anti-bullying, kids are like, "Oh, that's cool. Like, that's cool now. I rapped about it." And that's one of my favorite things to do is to go into schools and rap to the kids. Um, Eventually, they took me around the world. I did my tour in Thailand. They helped me start my own label. Uh, they taught me. He taught me how to do this the right way, because believe it or not, you don't just blow up out of the blue. Every now and then, yeah, okay, I guess somebody does, but there's a formula to it. It's not all based off luck. It's based off your network, it's based off your strategy, it's based off your budget. And he's teaching me how to optimize all of these things. And so, starting in 2020, I started doing this full time right before the pandemic broke out. I started doing this full time, and things are going pretty well. We got a lot of projects on the table, and we work hard. The team is very strong. Um, but yeah, that's kind of how things got started, and we haven't even really gotten into these projects yet. When we come, we're gonna come hard. Just so you know. But yeah, so that is my come up story. You can find me at coldsaint.com. You can find me at Coldsaint on Facebook, Coldsaint Official on Instagram. It's pretty much Coldsaint everywhere. Just go to coldsaint.com and you'll find me. But yeah, thank you.